But you need to start looking for people that have leveled up their life, and you need to allow them to mentor you, teach you, and discipline you in the ways of self-mastery and self-discipline. You guys need a community. You need people around you that have the same mindset, the same desire, the same type of self-discipline that's going to take them from this level down here up to the next level. And then from there, you're going to find more leaders, more people that are ahead of you that are going to take you to the next level. The problem with so many men right now, Christian men in particular, you're hanging around with low-level people, even in the faith. You're not surrounding yourself with people that have a higher level of discernment, spiritual understanding, scriptural understanding, and you're not letting them speak into your life, pour into your life, and you're suffering as a result of that. It happens with your fitness as well, and it happens with your finances. Now, I want you to assess the 5 people you hang around with the most and tell me, are they better than you in fitness, in faith, in finances, in relationships? And if the answer is no, you need to love the people that you're around, but you need to start looking for people that have leveled up their life, and you need to allow them to mentor you, teach you, and discipline you in the ways of self-mastery and self-discipline. And this is where I come in, guys. I was a pastor of a church for 8 years. I've been a registered nurse for 9 years. Been married for almost 15 years, and I've been through it all. I know what it's like to be broke, and I know what it's like to make hundreds of thousands of dollars in a very short amount of time. I know what it's like to have a relationship and a marriage flourishing and flying, and then to have it broken and fall apart, only to build it up again where it's been better than it's ever been. And there's a lot of bugs and flies around this park right now, so don't mind me when I'm swatting them away a little bit. It's insane here in Coeur d'Alene. I love Coeur d'Alene. This is an incredible town. I'd come visit here anytime. I only live 30 minutes away, and this is a great place to visit, to go in the lake, to hang out at the restaurants. Man, I highly recommend Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. But let's get back to it, all right? I've known what it's like to be broke. I've known what it's like to make hundreds of thousands of dollars within the short time of 1 or 2, 3 months, all right? I know what it's like to have a great marriage, a broken marriage, relationship really apart, to mending it through the power of Jesus Christ, by communication, through getting people around me, counselors, mentors, to help us build it back up, where our marriage has never been better, our sex life has never been better, our communication's never been better, and now we're thriving as a family here in the United States from Northern Canada prior. All right, I know what it's like to be fat, to be overweight, to be depressed, to have no self-discipline, to be making terrible life decisions, just asking other people to make decisions for me instead of standing in my power, my leadership, and making decisions and then being able to stand my ground whether they go my way or not. And that's where a lot of you guys fail. You're afraid to make a decision because what if it doesn't work out? Well, what if it doesn't work out? Who cares? At least you made a decision. At least you took action. At least you said, I made a choice, and yeah, I failed, but you know what? I learned a valuable lesson as a result. Or, hey, I made this decision and it worked out, and things went my way, and I knew in the bottom of my heart that was the right decision. But either way, a lot of you guys aren't making decisions out of fear. I want you to be able to make decisions, but I also want you to be able to think things through clearly and have wisdom and discernment to make right decisions 99% of the time. There'll always be times when we mess up, and in those instances we learn from our mistakes and we level up. Now, what's the fastest and easiest way, guys, to learn and grow in fitness, in finance, in relationship, in spiritual development, in leadership development? It's to learn from people that have already done it, and we learn from their mistakes. We learn from their victories, their wins, and as a result, guys, we can bypass a lot of time that would otherwise be spent to the learning process, the failing process, okay? Because they've done it. Now we have to let them teach us what to do. And so I wasn't getting the body I want. I'm a personal trainer, but I want a higher level body. So by random chance, which wasn't quite random chance because I asked the Lord to bring someone into my life that could teach me, the right person, and I bumped into a guy at the gym, and I just happened to say, man, how long is it going to take for me to get as big as you? And he said, oh, you're probably way older than me. And I'm like, well, I'll be 40 in November. And he's like, well, I'm only 27. But he was jacked, he had the look, very fit, and he's actually a personal trainer, bodybuilder, Tony Manzo. So I hired him. You know, it's not cheap, $500 a month for training, for coaching, that's fine, because I want to advance my physical appearance. I want to get bigger and stronger. You can look back at one of my reels in 2017, I was 155 pounds, and I went even lower. In 2019, I dropped down to 144 after a 21-day fast. Right now, I'm like 187. Not too long ago, I was 200. But I'd like to be over 200 pounds, thick, jacked, strong, able to do my first bodybuilding show as a novice, as the Masters division, before I turn 41. And I'm gonna need someone to show me the way, how to pose, how to lift, how to build the muscles properly. So I hired a coach. I also hired business coaches with Cole De Silva and Brian Mark, because I'd like to start a training business. I want to help other guys my age, Christian men, who were depressed, fat, lack of self-respect, lack of discipline, get fit, get in shape, get confident. All right, and so these guys are teaching me how to do that, how to help coach you better. And I pay $500 a month for that as well. And so you guys have to be willing to spend some money so that you can learn some lessons from some people that have already gone on to make millions and millions, who have already gone on to do bodybuilding shows, or who have already gone on to have a thriving marriage, who have gone on to start a successful startup or business, or whatever that thing is you want to achieve. You need to get around people that have done it so they can cut out that middle work, guys. That's why you need a community. That's why you need people like me in your life, who have gone through some things, who have learned the hard lessons so you don't have to. But maybe you're at a point where you've learned some really hard lessons. Maybe your marriage has fallen apart. You've experienced betrayal. You're divorced, all right? You're starting over from scratch. You don't know what to do. You're blaming God. Maybe you had financial issues, whether you lost your job, or you had a business, or you went bankrupt, and now you're broke and you don't know what to do. And maybe you have had an illness or an injury, or you've just given up and you've overeaten and now you're out of shape. You don't have energy, you don't respect yourself when you look in the mirror. That's 95% of you people out there. So don't think you're alone in it. You're not alone. You need to get over your selfishness, thinking, oh, poor me, woe is me, because there's so many other guys just like you in your exact same situation, and it sucks and it hurts and it breaks my heart for you. But I've been in those instances so many times myself, you guys, and I want to promise you something. I want to promise you right now, if you believe in your heart, then it can happen. Whatever you ask for in prayer, you will receive. That's Jesus' will for you. That's God's will for you. It's not His will for you to be broken emotionally, mentally, physically, or financially, or relationally. It's not. And so right there you know that His will for you is to thrive. And even though you go through the valley of the shadow of death, the Lord says, I am with you. He will protect you. His rod and His staff, they will comfort you, and He will lead you through that valley to green pastures. But it's a journey. And so a lot of you guys are trapped at the start of the journey, and you don't know where to start, you don't know where to go, but God wants to bring you through the pain, the misery, the brokenness, the poverty, the sickness, whatever it is that's struggle in your life. He wants to bring you through it to victory. And I'm telling you, I believe by the Spirit of God that He wants you to get people in your life that have gone through it so they can guide you out of it. Do you understand? You can join my free Facebook community. Just look me up, James Coogan, on Facebook or on Instagram. It's in the link on my descriptions. It's just RX Fitness, the brotherhood. Men, you need a brotherhood. You need some leaders in your life. You need some spiritual fathers in your life. You need men of God like me who have pastored people, mentored people, coached people, who have been broke, who have been wealthy, who have been sickly and depressed, who have overcome it and got jacked and juicy and rich and ripped and rare, who honor God with their bodies, with their temples, who transform their minds, who renew their thoughts, who take on the mind of Christ. You need some people in your life that are going to show you the way to success and to have a better future. And so if you refuse to get those people around you, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. You're going to live a lonely, broken, miserable, negative life. And I know some of you who are watching this right now, you're right there. You're negative. You're judging me for making this video. But I had the courage to come to a park and speak in public with other people all around, walking this way, that way, paths everywhere. I don't care. I don't care what people think. And that's where you're at. You care what people think of you. You care what people think if you started going to the gym. Or what are all these other people going to think about me lifting weights? What are they going to think about me when I can't do it properly, my form's off, or because I look so fat? Forget about what other people think. There's one person, it's the Father, and He loves you and He cares for you, and He's with you, and He wants you to thrive. You need to stop caring what people think about you. You need to put yourself out there, because the worst thing that you can do, I'll tell you right now, the worst thing you can do is have no action at all. No action is the biggest risk you'll ever take in your life. I took a step of action. I resigned from a church. I packed up my family. I moved from Canada to the United States. I felt called to go, and I knew God was calling me. It wasn't easy, all right? I sold my house. I sold my truck. I sold my trailer. I sold off of so much stuff, you guys. And I packed up and I moved. We didn't know really anybody. I knew one pastor down here. And I'd only ever spoken to him for a couple minutes before, years ago. But this Spokane, Washington was the place God opened up the door. So we came to Spokane, and we'll see. My goal is to get to Florida, but I have to go where the Spirit of the Lord leads me. And right now it's here. It's for such a time as this. And I see you men out there, you're broken and you're hurting and you're alone. And the Lord has sent me to you to encourage you today, to join my brotherhood, to get in touch with me, to ask for help. That's it. You need to get on it. Let's go.